Well, here we are in the greenhouse, and spring has sprung here, of course, and it sprung several weeks ago, maybe even a couple months ago. But we know that it's March. People are excited to be thinking it's almost time to start planting, maybe indoors if you want to do some of your own seeding of vegetables or flowers. And we're in the greenhouse here where, we start, of course, many thousands of small seedlings. And we start in a plug tray here. Then in this tray has small individual cells where we put seeds. There's 273 cells within that plug tray. And you can see there's many plug trays. This is just product we have seeded this week. We seed each and every week throughout the season for a number of more weeks. We stagger our sowing, so tomato crop, for example, we'll have maybe 4 seedings, so we have ongoing new plants coming on as we progress through the sales season. So they start here. We kind of call this stage 1. You can't feel this, but it's very warm in the greenhouse here. We run the temperature 75, 80 degrees, and we actually have heat under the bench that rises, that keeps the seedling very warm. And of course, the moisture is key as well. So temperature and moisture is the key. And then different items will germinate at different rates, and as they come up and get out of the plug tray. And even here you can see this happens to be a flowering kale, but that's been seeded just several days and it's starting to come up. In probably another day or two, that will be moved into what we call stage 2, which is a little bit drier environment, similar temps, maybe slightly cooler, but it's kind of a progression. We're standing here amongst a lot of cuttings. We also propagate a lot of different plants from a cutting. And once again, we have mother plants that we take the cuttings from, and then they're on this warm bench. The broom irrigator you see here will run every little bit, and then that actually mists the cuttings and keeps the foliage damp and moist so that they don't dehydrate. Here where we have, this is kind of the stage 2 of the plug trays that have come from stage 1. Some of these are getting ready now where they'll get moved to what we'll go look at as stage 3, and that's a cooler temperature. And once again, the other element in here is the fertilizing. Stage 1, they don't get any fertilizer. Stage 2, we start to give them a little bit of feed, but it's minimal. These are cuttings that we had taken that are now basically at the point of ready to transplant, and that's what a finished product will look. That's a root cell from one cutting. And so but this is probably a 6-week-old plant from start to this point. So it does take time. Once again, the cuttings, some things will root fairly quick, others take time. And then as we move over here, we run this, like I mentioned, quite a bit cooler. It kind of keeps the plants from stretching, because continued heat would make a lot of things grow taller than we really want them to do. But with the cooler temps, we don't have any bottom heat over here. We have forced air furnaces and stuff, but we probably run that at, like I mentioned, 75, 80 degrees. We're probably 60 over here, so it is quite a bit cooler. And it kind of not only, and this is where they will finish their stage of growing before they're transplanted on into a bigger pack or pot. These are some of the early vegetables, just as an example. When we pop that out of there, you're going to see it. I mean, it's a fully rooted little individual cell. We got tomatoes here. This is our first go of tomatoes. We'll start transplanting them in probably another 7 to 10 days. We got our first go of peppers, and we're never happy with a few varieties. I think we have 70 varieties of tomatoes and 70 varieties of peppers or something like that. But it's never ending. We started back in probably mid-December seeding certain items, and then it just progressively gets busier and more as time goes on. And now we're pretty much in full tilt, and no looking back. We're producing flowers and plants and vegetables. So as we get to spring here, it's time to plant. You folks will have everything you want.